I used to be 80's top comedian, Larry Goldman.
Airline food. What's a real airline food?
But then, something terrible happened. Nobody could relate to airline food anymore. I was out of a job, out of luck. But something changed. A radioactive turtle bit my hand.
Ow, stupid turtle.
And I somehow traveled through all of time. Would I ever get home? Would I see my wife Sandy again? Join me, Larry Goldman. Larry Goldman's Internet Review Show! So before you kids had video games downloaded from the interwebs on DVDs, Blu-rays, there used to be one of these things called floppy disks. But even before that, games used to come on cassette. You might be asking yourself right now, but Larry, I thought cassettes just played music. And it's true, they do play music. In fact, I released a cassette in 1986. Still available in all good record shops. Loving with Larry, featuring timeless classics such as How Deep Is Your Love? How deep I really need alone, 'cause we're living in a world of fools. If you leave me now, if you leave me now, you'll take away the biggest part of me. No. And fan favorite, Pretty Woman. Pretty woman, walking down the street, pretty woman, the kind I like to meet, pretty woman. I don't believe you. All these hits and many more available now on cassette. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, that's it. Cassettes. They don't only play music, you know. They have a hidden talent. They can store data. You might be saying to yourself right now, but Larry, I don't know what a cassette is. What's data? Is that something to do with computers? I'm an idiot, Larry. Please teach me so I don't have to be an idiot anymore. Well, don't worry if you said that, which you did. I'm going to explain all about it in a section that I call Let's Get Scientific with Science. We all know computers run on binary code, right? Those little ones and zeros that do the thinking. But how do they get that code onto a cassette? Well, it's rather simple. First, they get a big microphone and connect it up to a cassette recorder. And then, a man or a woman talks into the microphone, repeating all the ones and zeros. Once they finally finish saying all those ones and zeros, the cassette is ready and can be used on a computer. Nobody's quite sure why this works. It's just one of the many miracles of modern science. Let's Get Scientific with Science is sponsored by Wikipedia. Thanks, Jimmy Wales.
Hey, no problem, Mr. Larry.
So what systems used cassette tapes? Well, let's take a look. Apple II, Amstrad CPC, BBC Micro, ZX Spectrum, Commodore VIC-20, Commodore 64, MSX, Radio Shack TRS-80, Atari 400, Atari 800, and a bunch of other computers I can't be bothered to list. What do you think I am, some kind of listing machine? Because I'm certainly not any kind of listing machine. What is it with people? They're always trying to make me list things. Where was I? Oh yeah, that's it. The computers. You're probably saying to yourself, but Larry, you'd need to be a gajillionaire to own all those computers. But you're forgetting one simple thing. I was making 80's top comedian money. I had it all. The floozies, the fans, till my career came crashing down. Thanks a lot, Jay Leno, but that's a story for another day. But out of those computer systems, my favorite would have to be the Commodore 64. Why? Because it had the games, had the graphics, and by God, did it have the sound. Listen to that sweet, sweet sound. The problem was, games would take forever to load on cassette. We're talking up to 30 minutes here. The amount of time it took to load a game, I could do a whole set about airline food. So don't come running to me when you're on your Xbox 360 saying, "Oh no, this game's taken a whole 1 minute to load, that's terrible." No, you're terrible. Anyway, let's have a look at my favorite games on the Commodore 64. Number 1. The Last Ninja. What does that say? You got to play as a ninja. Ninjas are cool. And you get to fight with your sword, and you get to pick up nunchucks, and you get throwing stars, and then you have to fight people, and you have to throw stuff in dragons' faces. This game's got it all. Not enough games these days have throwing stuff in dragons' faces, let alone ninjas. Number 2. Break Street. Now this game really has the moves. This game cashed in on the breakdancing craze of the 1980s, but still, it's a gem and should be played by everyone. You gotta body pop, body lock, body stuff, do the moves. What up, G? Number 3. Space Taxi. Yeah, you heard me right, Space Taxi. You got to drive a taxi in space. What kind of game has that these days? In Space Taxi, you pick up and drop off customers in a series of levels that get more and more complex. The speech in the game may sound low quality now, but back in the 80s, that stuff was amazing. I mean, it's Space Taxi. Yeah. What a game. Space Taxi. If you want to find out more about the C64 and even try out some of the games mentioned, then head on over to c64.com. Well, that's it this time for Larry Goldman's Internet Review Show. If you like this episode, please subscribe. It means a lot. Don't forget to add me on Twitter @TheLarryGoldman. And go to my brand new website, www.LarryGoldmanReviews.com. Wait a minute. What I've been told is all lies. That's not how cassettes work. That's not how cassettes work at all. Damn you, Jimmy Wales!